Rock Solid Radio wants to thank Maxwell Construction, who has been our sponsor since the very beginning. For over 30 years, Maxwell has delivered the highest quality projects by holding to their core values of customer satisfaction, positive attitude, respect, and excellence. So if you have any kind of commercial construction need, give Maxwell Construction a call today at 812-537-2200.
Hey everyone, this is Merrill Hutchinson here at Rock Solid Families, bringing Rock Solid Radio to you today. And this radio is different, hon. Guess what we're doing different today? Have you looked?
Have I looked? Yeah.
Have you looked?
It's kind of the elephant in the room.
Yeah. So we are on video today. This is our first opportunity to go video rather than just podcast audio. And so, really the purpose of this is, from what we gather, there's a better chance or even another avenue to get our message out. And we believe our message is worth getting out. And so we're hoping that this avenue helps to get the message out to more and more people.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Oh, yeah. Bye,
but
2020.
But you're wearing a Christmas tree shirt.
You know what? It is comfortable, and I am all about the comfort.
There you go.
And so I'm not here to make any other statement. But except for that is a nice advertisement.
There you go.
We have for 33?
Yeah, huge family tradition.
Years. They didn't even pay for this ad, but Bowman's Christmas Tree Farm out.
I don't think people are going to remember
Batesville, Indiana. What an incredible, cool family place to go. And that's kind of why I wear it, because it's a cool family place.
There you go.
What are we doing today anyway? Do we have a show?
Well, first of all, I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. 2020 is over, depending on when you're listening to this, right?
Yeah.
But 2021, we are excited for it to be here. And this is a really new component, to Rock Solid Radio, video, YouTube. And so we're excited about that.
Hope we didn't disappoint too badly.
Actually, it has been kind of funny for people who walk in our doors, who are seeing you or seeing me, and they've been listening to our podcast, to meet the other one and said, "Oh, that's what you guys look like."
You know, well, I've always said,
I don't know what they're thinking about that.
So did I disappoint? So
exactly.
You had one image based off of the voice, and now this is what you get. So anyway, we are looking forward to this. We have every bit of intention to continue delivering what we believe are important, sound messages about faith, family, fitness, and a big part of our work is in marriage and family coaching that we do at Rock Solid Families. And so just to kind of bring that together, a lot of you are brand new to our listenership here, our viewership. And so Linda and I are marriage and family coaches after over a combined 60 years of experience in the teaching and counseling fields in our respected domains, mine being the school and yours being the church setting.
Right, yeah.
And so, for the last couple of years, we had the opportunity to start up Rock Solid Families, and this is one of the offshoots of that, doing these podcasts. We have two podcasts worth mentioning, and one is Rock Solid Radio, where it's you and I, and I have to be kind of more prim on this and proper on this show.
You let me put a tree in here in the scene, because the dudes are all about.
Strong Dads is the other show where I have a partner, Kyle Crawford, and we talk to dads, we talk to men, and so we certainly that's probably why I'm dressed like this, because this is how I roll. Yeah. So anyway,
we've been married for
30 coming on to 34 years.
Yeah, 33 and a half years. 5 kids, 4 grandkids, 2 daughter-in-laws. It's been a wild ride.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And, I think a big part of what our message is, one is we always want to have fun on this show. Because I know when I listen to stuff, you can tell when people aren't enjoying what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so having some fun and goofing around a little bit is we think humor is a big part of marriage success. If you can't learn to laugh at yourself, you're going to be screwed.
That's actually,
Is that the right word?
No. That actually is what attracted me to you. If you've been listening, we used to be on the radio, and then we moved it to a podcast format only. And, you probably have heard us say many times, if you're following us already, that honestly, humor is what really attracted me to you and what really keeps our marriage fresh and exciting and fun, because you do make me laugh. Well, and we're going to do some laughs on this show, for sure.
And we're going to learn to laugh at ourselves. And, I think is just an important part. So anyway, that's going to be one part of it. But a big part of it is we want you to know that we are faith-based. We don't want that to be a guessing game. And saying that, oh, you guys are Christians? I would have never thought. But in saying that, we're not perfect Christians. And I think that's actually that's an oxymoron, right? I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect Christian.
Jesus.
Except for him,
Jew,
and he was the dude that started the club. And so we'll give him that trophy. But the rest of us are just following his way, and we stumble all the time. But I think that's part of what we actually cap on here on this show of saying, we do screw it up. You and I screw it up all the time. But the idea of trying to strive to be not more religious-like,
or perfect,
not more perfect-like, but more Christ-like, which is that great blend of understanding the reason to live right with rules and laws and so on, but having the grace and compassion that seasons it to make a solid life.
Yeah, and hun, we want to do some laughing and joking, but this has been a tough year for people, for sure. So many people, including many of our clients, have experienced really great tragedies and circumstances, loss of family members, loss of jobs, loss of marriages, financial crises, feeling lonely and anxious, and so we've seen it walk through our doors, and we've also seen God work in some pretty amazing ways. And so we're very thankful for that. The hundreds of families, maybe you're one of them, that has financially supported us and partnered with us in this mission of strong and healthy families. So we just want to thank you for your generosity, your support, your prayers. It doesn't go unnoticed.
Yeah, I think that's important, hon. I thank you for just thanking everybody for that support, because
thanking me for thanking.
It's a double thank you. You've been thanked twice, and that's enough already. But that whole idea that we don't get to do what we're doing if, one, people don't believe in us, and two, that if we're not getting that contribution, that financial support, because we try to not let money be an issue.
Right.
And when we first started our ministry, we thought, and our board was even very reserved about it, like, well, you got to charge,
Right.
And we do charge. We do charge for our services, but we don't let the charge get in the way. If finances are a problem, and again, we're pretty bold about saying, well, we really want you to be invested in this financially.
Right. Yeah.
But if you can't, don't let money's not going to be your reason.
Yeah.
But in doing that, we have to have some help.
Speaking of money, when this very first show, 2021, we definitely need to thank our sponsors, because we have financial support behind this show. And so we want to first thank Maxwell Construction, who, hun, has been with us since the very beginning, the very first show when we were on the radio. And so we want to thank them, as well as our newest sponsor, Casey's Outdoor Solutions, in support of Rock Solid Radio, because it wouldn't be possible without them.
Yeah, Casey, well, first the Maxwells, the whole Maxwell family, but John and Randy are who we deal with mostly at this point, and those guys believe in making the community better.
Yes.
And so that's why they've gotten behind us. But Casey, we know Casey very well also. I've known him for years, and he's a solid guy. And he wants a solid community, and he believes in our message. And so we want to thank Casey for jumping on here in the new year.
Yeah,
and
thanks,
we hope
Casey.
We don't disappoint. And let's just continue to let this do its work out there helping people.
So
we got a couple announcements.
We do, hon. It's 2021. Your Strong Dads class is starting back up.
Have you seen my scale lately?
You are going to need some muscles. Hey, this is the advantage of being video versus audio. I mean, you can see these muscles in this boy.
All this time I thought, oh man, I could put an image out.
Strong Dad, I know.
I'm just a little old
He's got a
weakling.
Christmas tree shirt on.
Yeah, isn't he sweet?
No, which is why you got to get back in the gym.
I purposely, we actually had a little COVID shutdown, and we shut down our gym, and it kind of worked out perfectly, because we did it a week or two before we would have done it with just Christmas time and all that. We usually take a week or two off for a break there, and so I've actually had about 4 weeks off from our standard workout.
I've been able to sleep in,
but I still work out. But
I know you do.
I
a lot more than I.
definitely have taken the easy
road. I had COVID, so that really, it really winded me.
How long are we going to use this COVID thing?
At least a couple more weeks, I think. I mean, for those out there that are listening or watching, if you've had COVID,
And I'm not making fun of anybody, because I know it's kicked some people's tail.
Yeah.
But, hon, you've actually been doing pretty good. It's time to get back in the
I
gym.
know. I'm ready.
All right,
ready.
let's get rolling. Let's get rolling. So what are we talking about in our first show that hopefully is going to incentivize and encourage families to start right in 2021?
Are you going to do that all of 2021?
No, it was really kind of a 2020 thing.
Do that thing one more time because, 2020.
2020, yeah.
You put that at the end of so many promos.
Well,
I was just like,
I got that from the Hodge twins, which is the bunch of comedians, and I'm not really subscribing to everything that they believe politically, but they are funny.
Oh my
They
goodness.
are funny. Goofy.
We're not going to be the Hodge twins.
No,
right?
well,
Okay.
we're not black. And so they're
we're not two guys.
Well,
dudes.
right, yeah.
So two problems.
Strike two. We got one more in us. All right.
Okay, so what are we talking about today? We're actually talking about being around the table, just like we are right here, hon, and how important it is to our families, to our marriages. Growing up, you and I spent a lot of time around the kitchen table.
Yep.
So let me ask you this, okay? What was your favorite meal your mama cooked for you growing up? What was one of the favorites?
Well, my mom was a very good cook.
She was. Makes it tough for me.
Bless her soul.
Yeah.
And she's no longer with us. Very good cook. One of the things that was tricky with my mom, though, is my mom was kind of an instinctive cook.
Yes.
She knew a basic recipe, but she cooked to
Dab
taste.
This, dash
she
of that.
cooked to taste. And so if you try to get mom to duplicate something, like if you said, man, mom, that was like the best soup or whatever, can we have that again? Well, I think maybe we can, but so we'd usually get in the ballpark, but it was never exactly the same. But and in particular, my mom, I'm not going to give her total credit, but I mean, she brought chicken and noodle soup to the map.
She called it chicken and dumplings.
Well, originally, when I was a kid, it was dumplings.
Right.
And then as we got older, she was able to do it into noodles, not these little chicken little noodles.
I know.
I mean, I'm talking big,
dumpling
heavy-duty noodles.
Which I'm so glad you said that. Is one of your favorites?
Are you baiting me?
Because look, I mean, if you're in our video,
that is cool. Yeah,
you can kind of see this is a gift that we got. It is a chicken and dumpling recipe. It says Ruth's chicken and dumpling recipe, and it's
that's my mom's name
in her handwriting. And this was a gift we got from our sister-in-law and brother-in-law a couple Christmases ago. And it's a treasured gift for us.
Yeah.
And it's not really about just the recipe, I believe. Mm-hmm. It was about the memories and the traditions around the table as your family. Yeah. I think that's what makes it so special.
Yeah,
right?
That's what's so funny about that is it is a keepsake for us.
You can't read
it. But my mom's writing, again, blessed her soul, was so bad. Like, I can't even read that writing now.
It's definitely for
it is dead
decoration.
on what my mom's writing was. Like, she used to write us a note. We'd be like, Mom, I have no clue what I'm supposed to do from that.
Actually, what's so funny is your sister brought together all of her recipes, and literally there was like a dump of this, a dash of that, which made it really hard.
Did it really say dump?
Yes, it did. There's like dump. Yeah, I know. But so she gathered them all together in this family cookbook. And again, she has pictures and stuff in here of different memories.
Show some of those. I mean, those are all like old family photos. So when you go through and you're trying to bake cookies, all you're doing is looking at a picture from 1968 or something.
I was making dressing at Thanksgiving, and it has a picture on it there, and I can't find it right this second. But it was really cool because it brought tears just of making her recipe, remembering her making her recipe. But again, it isn't about the food. It's about
a little. Let's be honest.
It's about the memories. It's about being around the table as a family and what that meant to you growing up. And that's why that cookbook is so important. So we're going to talk about that today and really, how important that is. And really, hon, it's biblical.
Well, I think that is, it's not coincidental that people gravitate towards the dinner table. For just community, for fellowship, for problem solving, for connecting. And biblically speaking, Christ oftentimes used the dinner table or food as a way to break bread and to have communion and to come together. And, I've actually thought about that. And what is it? You actually hear frequently, almost as it's a bad thing, that food is a comfort drug. And
I used it that way for a long
right.
time.
And again, when it's abused, maybe we could call it something that's not healthy or it's negative. But for the most part, food is calming. And food, it's very hard, hon. Have you ever tried to eat when you are so nervous about something?
Well, actually, I'm a nervous eater.
That's right. Actually,
Remember?
when we first dated, our first date ever.
No, you're not going to tell.
Call me Big
No.
Spender. Call me Big Spender. Actually, you bought. We went to Pizza Hut.
Lunch.
And we ordered a large pizza, thinking between the two of us, we'll take half of it home.
We were
both
college students, right?
And before I could take a breath, I looked down and half the pizza was gone.
I was nervous.
And I hadn't even eaten a piece yet.
That's
and
not
I
true.
was, maybe half of one.
Come on.
But I was like, holy, I love this.
So I'm a
girl.
nervous eater.
Yeah, so you are unlike a lot of ladies that you eat when you are nervous. But a lot of people, when they're nervous, like their stomach's upset.
This show is not about food, okay?
Why do I keep gravitating
I don't
back
know,
to
because
that?
I think you're hungry. You just had lunch. But, it's so important. I mean, in Acts 2:46 and 47, it says that every day the disciples continued to meet in the temple's court. They broke bread in the homes and they ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favor of all the people. Like, we were commanded to come together. And that's why Christians around the world replicate that importance by communion.
Yeah.
Celebrating communion together. And that's what we want to do in our homes, with our families. It is so important, hon, and we have lost this. It is losing value and importance and priority in families and homes around the world today.
I mean, examples of that is, we know people who actually don't have chairs around their table
That was
anymore.
one of my clients.
Yeah.
Their homework was to go buy chairs.
Because
they did. They sat at a table, or they sat on a couch watching TV at every meal.
Right. Yeah. You see the little TV dinner tables being used more frequently than the actual family dinner table. Yeah. And here's the problem with that. It'd be one thing if everybody brought the family or the TV dinner tables together in a circle and looked at each other and talked. No. But they stare at a TV or a computer screen or a phone screen and don't acknowledge the presence of each other.
Right.
And so in the meantime, you are just think about this through the frequency of contacts that you're losing the opportunity on. I think about this with kids because kids learn things in little tiny chips, little bitty pieces. And if on average, whatever, maybe you could eat 200 meals a year around the common table. Okay. And that's 200 times where your kids are learning how to talk to each other, how to say please and thank you, how to resolve conflict, all of these things. And then we have people who just alleviate the dinner table, and their kids, the next thing you know, are socially awkward or anxious about talking or uncomfortable, or parents go, I don't know where that came from. Yep. And so you're losing your best counseling / parenting opportunity with especially young kids.
Yeah. And and we have some clients who honestly can't even find their table. There's so much chaos. There's so much clutter that literally the table is kind of a catch-all. And so they literally would look at me and say, we don't even know where we would sit. I'm like, well, let's put a little order into your home and put things in their place so that the table can be used the way it's designed, not as a catch-all. Yeah. Or us.
This would be our category that you're going to hit, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So maybe you're like us and you're fighting this battle with the dinner hour and sports and extracurriculars. We have 3 kids still in our home, 3 teenagers that all play sports, and they're all in fall sports. So, the fall time, actually COVID helped us because things were a little reduced a little bit. But normally it's 3 sports and 2 full-time counselors, and it's nuts around here. And trying to find and protect a time frame that we could all get around the table was a challenge.
Right. There was a time, actually, I remember as a kid growing up playing baseball, that our coaches tried to have us finished with practice by 5:30 or 6, for the sole reason of, you have to get home and have dinner. Yep. And now, not blaming any one particular coach, it's just part of the environment. I mean, we schedule sporting activities from 3:30 till 10 o'clock, 5-6 days a week. So
we got a daughter playing club volleyball, which the only day they have to practice is on Sundays.
Yeah.
And thank God it's after church, but where does it stop? Well,
that's a great question.
Yeah.
It stops when we make it stop.
The parents.
And I think that's part of, we're going to come into, okay, let's start 2021 off on the right foot. And I think if there's one message to start this all off right with is, and especially after COVID, is the idea that you are in control.
Yes.
Quit throwing your control out the door.
Letting the world dictate.
Saying, the schedule's dictated, or, it's what everybody else is doing, or my job dictates it. That excuse is not going to win you anything.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really important that we first and foremost start 2021 with the idea of, no, what am I going to reclaim?
Right.
What am I going to say? I'm going to own this, and it is our house.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, if we don't want our kids to be gone at dinner time, we have to make concessions.
Right.
Like, well, maybe you're not going to be in that sport, or maybe you're going to have to take on a different team or whatever. But that is on us as parents, and we can't point the finger at everybody else.
Hon, I admit that our schedules got so crazy trying to fit in clients, which everybody wanted after dinner, or after work. And so it was that we sacrificed our dinner time.
Right.
And so I have started to protect a dinner hour for us in my schedule and in my counseling. And just last night, someone wanted an hour that was protected. And I said, no, I'm sorry. I tried to protect that for dinner. And they appreciated that. They respected that. And they actually were like, whoa, that's a novel thought. Yeah. And so I need to model that. Our kids need to see us protect it and make it a priority.
And I appreciate you doing it, because I would probably not stand for that. I'd be like, well, if she doesn't care, I don't care. But because you make that statement, I'm more conscious of saying, hey, we need to steer away from that.
So sitting around the table helps you read the temperature of your family. It really does, of each other. How are things going? We're not doing that enough in our homes. And so our kids need that engagement. Our parents need that connection time. And as a couple, we need that. Now, this can't be all of it for you as a married couple. You also need that 15-minute dialogue alone, without kids, without interruptions. But this is important. So in 5 kids later, 30 years later of parenting, these are some things that we want to give you as tools. And I would suggest that you get a piece of paper and write some down.
Yeah.
And start a new habit.
Any of these things are amazing new ideas. Okay.
There's nothing new under the sun, the Bible says.
Right. But they are great reminders.
Yep.
We get to start a new year. It's always a good chance to start fresh. And so the first one is be bold about clearing out distractions.
Yep.
So have some boundaries around your dinner table, such as, not only no phones. There's no phones there. There's no TV screens. There's no computer screens. If the phone rings,
we don't answer it.
We don't answer it.
No.
Okay.
It's not sitting up. How many times have you gone out to dinner or sit at a dinner table with someone with their phone up and they're literally looking at it all night long, listening to messages? Like, no, you turn it over, put it away, go in another room with it, and make your family the priority.
I want to tell you too, hon, I think I'm actually seeing some of the younger kids call that out more and more. They're calling their parents out because actually many times we're seeing the parents being every bit as guilty of this as the kids. And so kids are beginning to feel the neglect from it, the lack of kind of attention to the family. And so kids are saying, would you look at me?
I actually had a couple last night who there was some tension in the room about how often the husband answers his phone. And he has a job which they expect to have 24/7 access, but it's definitely taking a toll on his wife and that relationship. And so he needs to listen. He needs to listen and then decide, okay, is this job worth my marriage or my family? Or are we going to agree that some things need to change?
Yeah. So another thing is you have to be on purpose with starting the conversation. And, that's different for every home, because if you're in a house full of talkers, then it just kind of rolls and you don't have to have any format. Conversation happens and you're just talking like crazy. But if you're in a house with maybe you got split, some are communicators, some are not, or maybe it's a quiet home, you have to really understand how intentional you have to be about this. And so part of that is this is something that we had to do because we have one major talker And then we have one kind of
children,
middle
you
of the
mean?
road.
Because I don't think we should. We're probably in that boat
we're
too.
in the more major talker.
Yeah.
And then we have one who's just so daggone quiet. And so it's actually because of that one that we said we have to have a format.
Yeah.
And I don't know is not an acceptable answer.
Yeah.
And so
or hiding behind the other one.
doing some different things that we did, a simple mealtime or devotional book.
Yeah.
But like it just gives you a guide.
Yeah.
Hey, let's read this minute and a half devotional and let's just have some conversation about it.
I forgot to bring it down. We actually had this family devotional when our older two were younger, where they would fight over who gets to read the story, who gets to ask the question, who gets to read the Bible verse, and it just stimulated conversation, and we use that over and over again for a long, long time. And then when our younger three were in our house, I did bring these down, the cards that we use, these discussion cards, and this is our second pack, I think, but it was really just a great question of the night. And we did it where everybody picked their own question. Then we did it one question, everybody answered it. But it was just a great chance. And you can actually literally Google conversation cards on Amazon.
Well, now we're kind of at the point where they all kind of know how it rolls. And we say, make up your own question.
Yeah, that's
and then everybody has to answer that question.
I'm not even going to bring up the one that was asked the other day.
Yeah, no, we should skip that.
Yeah, but it was like, holy cow, I feel like we're in an ethics class. Like,
Well, as they get older, you start to get actually more and more into those.
Holy cow.
But it's conversation. And it's how you learn how your kid functions and their emotions and that kind of thing. So it's good stuff.
It's problem solving too. Like, what if you were in this situation? What would you do?
Right. Right.
So
how about this next one here? I'm calling
you're
this
not calling me out, are you?
No. Well, two things.
Okay.
I'm calling you out, but I'm calling me out. So the idea here is don't rush away from the table. Okay.
Which I did growing up.
So,
Everybody
but you would rush into work. So like you would immediately take your last bite, and before the bite was swallowed, you'd be like grabbing everybody's dishes and cleaning up the table.
I was a worker.
The other side of it, no, you were nervous that you were going to get yelled at.
No.
The other side of it is my family. Nobody got up. We just pushed all the plates into the center, and we would sit there for an hour, half hour, whatever, and just kind of chew the fat, just
everything
make
would
conversation.
Like get crusty.
Yeah, and it was like, and then when it was time to do dishes, nobody was really that excited.
Somebody disappeared in the bathroom.
Yeah, well, not me. I was not the bathroom.
I'm not naming any names, Jan.
But. So, yeah, but so the idea here is don't rush away from the table.
No.
It actually is kind of, I like your dad in this situation. He's the slowest eater.
He is.
So he kind of dictates a little bit about, when it's kind of more appropriate for people to actually get up. And I think as they've gotten older and whenever we do have dinner with them, we're all sitting around until dad takes his last bite. And so we're just having conversation. That's good.
Our granddaughter and our grandson are old enough where they eat and jump up from the table. And I love our son and daughter-in-law who have said, you have to wait to be excused.
Yeah.
And they don't let them just jump up from the table. They want them in the conversation. And so I love that. I love that where, no, you'll sit and listen. You'll sit and be part of the family. Mm-hmm. And so they're not getting up and eating and running away. And I think that's so important.
Which leads really into another really important part of this, especially in the parenting realm. They are not excused because when everybody is so somewhat excused, you're actually only excused from sitting. Now everybody gets up and starts doing the dishes together.
Helps them out.
And we'll have 5 people in our house, and you're almost tripping on each other. But we get dishes done like
I know.
because everybody's like, you got the table, you got the counter, you got this, you got that, and talk is still going on,
right?
So the idea that you have an opportunity here to teach your kids, no, we're all doing this together.
Yeah. So cleanup time can be part of talk time. Everyone stays, helps clean up. No one leaves the kitchen. Unless you have this bathroom break, which, sometimes I wonder about. But, that we're all part of a team. Yeah. And it makes it easier because if your mom sat there, which she did, sat there for an hour with the family, and then the family got up, then your mom was left. And she would actually tell me when we were dating, she's like, no, I got this. And she would want you to go in the other room. But we've really said this is part of a team effort, and we're going to do this together.
Yeah. So. That was one of those things that we kind of had to be retrained on.
Yeah. So use the table often and, make it a hub for your home. And it just doesn't have to be meals, hon. I know you're thinking about food, but homework, puzzles, card games, coloring, snack time, family meetings, make the table the center of your family's activity.
Right, because there's no distraction there. It's all people to people versus a TV or a
Couch,
computer
right.
or something in there. So I think that's really important to do.
Yeah.
I think another thing that we should probably incorporate in this as we're starting 2021 is stop making the assumption about prayer. Whether we do pray or we don't pray, let's just pray. All right. I mean, let's just take the time. Remember, God wants our first fruits.
Yeah.
He wants, before you're shoving all that food down your mouth, he wants to know that you've acknowledged him and that he was the provider of that. He wants it to taste good for you, but he also wants you to know where that came from.
Yeah.
He's the ultimate provider here. And so letting your kids know that you did not create that food.
Yeah.
That God created that. And it's the very start of them starting to recognize where you give credit for things in your life.
Yeah, so giving him thanksgiving. And I really encourage you to not just rattle off, when I was at church camp, it was rub-a-dub-dub, thanks for the grub, yay God, or there's other little ones. But I would really encourage you to have it be from your heart. To even let your kids have a turn to share what they're thankful for and to pray that prayer to God. So invite Christ in the center of it all, because that is when it's blessed. That's when it's protected. That's when it really is rich. When it's all on our own effort, then we're missing really the key element there.
Right. So we're going to close things up. And part of what we always do on the podcast as well as now the video cast is the idea that if you listen to our show and you just turn it off and you're done with it, something's lacking there.
Right. Nothing changes.
Yeah, and so we always have a challenge. And really the challenge is, more than anything, it first needs to be thought-provoking, something that makes you think beyond the show itself, something that makes you, on the drive home, the rest of the way home, that you go, what can I do? What can I do to implement this or to change this? And so we always have a challenge in our show. And our challenge for this week is, when you get home today, have some conversation about how you're going to actually implement and be more on purpose and intentional with a family dinner time.
Yeah. So as you ring in the new year, this new season of Rock Solid Radio, let's commit. Us too, to gathering around the table as a family on a regular basis. Invite the Lord in on the conversation. Take time to thank him, and acknowledge him for all he's done. Our marriage needs it. Our family needs it. And I'm confident that yours does too.
All right. So in closing out, we just want to say thank you. We want to say thank you to our sponsors. And for all of the support that they give us with Maxwell Construction and Casey's Outdoor Solutions. We want to ask you a big favor. Share this show. All right, share the show. Help it get out there. Give us a 5-star rating, whether you're doing it in podcast form or whether you're doing it on YouTube. Give us a 5-star rating. That's what helps us get up on those search engines, okay? Yeah. So share the show. Also, if there's anything that we can help you out with, as family coaches here, marriage and family coaches, we want to be available. And so please reach out to us. You can check out our webpage at rocksolidfamilies.org. It's really coming together. We've finally got Linda helped breathe new life into that, and it's got some nice graphics, and it's a little bit more user-friendly. So check that out. And also, if you've got something more immediate that you need to get in touch with us on, call us at 812-576-7625. So reach out to us, and let's get things rolling for you.
As we close, there's a lot of noise out there, a lot of different messages, and a lot of them are very destructive. We think very negative. We want to pull our families together. We don't want them to be pulled apart. And so please share this show, share these messages, because if we're not promoting things like this, then what are people hearing? And so that we want to strengthen the family. And so thanks for listening to Rock Solid Radio. If you found us on Rock Solid Family's YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. If you've been listening to us, thank you for listening. And we just want to welcome you to this new era in Rock Solid Radio.
I'm still not going to get dressed up.
Oh, gosh.
I'm not going to get dressed up.
Oh, you got to go on YouTube to see exactly what we deal with every day.
Rock Solid Radio, building a stronger community, one family at a time. Make it a great day. Rock Solid Radio wants to thank Casey's Outdoor Solutions. Casey's is a premier garden center and gift shop located in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. They offer a wide selection of high-quality plants, landscaping materials, and home decor. They do amazing high-quality work and can help you transform your indoor and outdoor living spaces into something beautiful. So stop by Casey's Outdoor Solutions today and let them know you appreciate their support for Rock Solid Radio. Visit Casey's today at 21481 State Line Road, Lawrenceburg, Indiana.